Can you believe that Starbucks is now making you pay for something in order to use the restroom? I know, that's crazy, right? When I went to Paris, they do that kind of everywhere, like the McDonald's and the Burger Kings there. I didn't notice Starbucks. I didn't go to Starbucks in Paris, but McDonald's did it. And I remember I was so cold and I was so hydrated. I really had to go to the bathroom and I had to wait in the line to pay for my vegan nuggets in McDonald's in Paris in order to use the bathroom. So I know that they're doing that all over the world, but I don't know. I don't think they should be doing that, especially with how profitable of a company they already are. It was a little bit uncalled for. But I'm Natalie Loretta from Rolling with the Punches, and this is episode 10 of Rolling with the Punches season 2. Woo!
Rolling with the Punches!
Episode 10. Rednote is officially the #1 downloaded app on the App Store today. If you're a little bit confused, you know how TikTok is currently in limbo? Well, I personally believe that TikTok will stay. I was a little bit negative, but honestly, when you actually research and check out the people that are fighting for us, the legislators, it really truly gave me hope. So in spite of Instagram and the Meta apps, people are not going to go to Instagram and people are going to go to Rednote, and it is a Chinese Instagram app. And people are taking over their lives and like being crazy and being super inappropriate. And I just can't believe how people react in times when they feel that their free speech is, being limited. And I truly think that's what it is. We get along so well. We are so much more alike than we think we are. And I can't believe the government is doing so much of an effort to ban an app where I have so many cooking recipes. I have my whole life. I basically vlog every single day so that I can have memories to show my children one day. Like, what is the problem with that? And they're scared that we're giving information to Chinese spy. So that's the joke. They're like, me going to Rednote to give my Chinese spy all of my data. Like, what data? Like, it's not like I have anything to give these people, but I just think it's way over dramatized. The history books are definitely going to skip over our generation because we are so unserious. But aside from that point, TikTok for me has changed my entire life. I made it to 60,000 followers on TikTok as of today, 1,000 YouTube subscribers, and I'm so grateful, and almost 90,000 on Instagram. I'm so blessed. I'm so thankful that you guys support my career and keep in touch with my Rolling with the Punches vlogs. Out of all of my viral moments of 2024, my favorite moment of mine has to be when the Miami Times asked me to identify the karate chop that a guy did on the street to a random lady. And I just thought that was so funny that they included me, my knowledge in martial arts, to identify that. I've connected to so many people on TikTok with my pilot trading cards, mixed martial arts news, daily Dodger games. Here's the problem with TikTok being banned though. Too many people are making an income on this app. First of all, TikTok employs almost 10,000 employees in the business. Let me pull up the stats because I actually researched this. Hold on. This is directly impacting me too, so let's talk about it. And 170 other million creators. So Frank McCourt, he is the former owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Ironic, go Dodgers. And Kevin O'Leary, you guys know my favorite show, Shark Tank. He's one of the sharks, and he is known as the Grinch on the show. Right now, he's the furthest thing away from the Grinch because he's trying to save TikTok with Frank. Like I said, it's a lot of people that rely on this. So 10,000 TikTok employees, 7 million US businesses, and 170 million creators that rely on TikTok for cushion. On ABC News, Kevin O'Leary said that 90% of his Shark Tankers' revenues and sales come from TikTok sales. That is crazy to think about, and it is just wiping out a whole group of people. Keep in mind, most of the people on TikTok use TikTok as a side cushion, and they already have 1-2 jobs on top of being creators. So we have to think about those people and be mindful and be demure towards TikTok. Frank and Kevin O'Leary estimated that TikTok is worth $20 billion. According to a joint report from Oxford Economics and TikTok, 170 million monthly active users in the US rely on TikTok to generate income. I really hope that the country of free speech uses their free speech to get this message across. I don't think it's foreign spies trying to steal information, because Meta has had so many instances where they're selling our personal information. So what is really the issue here that's going on, you know? Last week, I went to NXT LA and I had the best time of my life. She had so many Lola Vice supporters on the West Coast. I went to NXT LA to watch my big sister Lola Vice and The Rock perform. It was the best night ever. I brought my boyfriend Robertico. The Rock's talk was so amazing. He kind of really didn't have anything planned, and he said that too. But the way that he was like, that was awesome. I was waiting for that because I love Moana. The night before I saw her perform, it took me like 2 hours to make my posters, and I was so proud of them. I worked so hard on it, and I'm super excited. I get to the show, and I take a little picture of it for my TikTok with the ring in the background, all cute, Miss Vlogger girl. And then a man comes up from behind me, and he was part of the camera crew, and he goes, "I'm gonna have to confiscate this. It will be returned to you at the end of the show." And didn't even give me a chance to be like, okay, I'll hold on to it and I'll keep it and I won't hold it up. I just think it was because I was blocking the cameras, and if I would have been on the other side of the ring, I for sure would have been able to show off my Lola Vice posters. But it just made me so sad, because after the show, you see post The Rock, post, "Can I get a chee-hoo?" I'm like looking for the guy and I can't find him anywhere, so I never got my posters back. I was just super excited for my sister to spot me in the crowd. I know that sounds crazy, but when I was a fighter in Taekwondo and my dad would be coaching me, honestly, anyone that could be coaching me, the only voice and the only person I can see in the crowd is my sister. So I was just super excited for her to notice me while she was fighting. But it's okay. Next time I learned my lessons. Never bringing a poster again. This whole poster story that I just told you, I did not think it's a big deal at all. But you know who did think it's a big deal? The whole wrestling universe. And TMZ did too. And they actually reached out to me, a couple news networks, asking for the reason why. And like, it was just such a quick interaction. I just didn't even have a chance to ask any questions. Like, it was just taken out of my hand, and he said it was going to be returned to me at the end of the show. So I didn't think it was such a big deal, but it's like all over the wrestling news for some reason. Card was phenomenal. Trick and Roxanne lost the opportunity for the championship belt. Can you believe that? So the WWE fights end, right? I'm super happy. I'm getting home. All of a sudden, Amber Alert. And I'm like, what happened? And my heart drops and I see Wildfire, Eden Fire. And I'm like, what is this? And like, that was the first time that I knew about the fires. Immediately, I put on the news because I'm perdida. I don't know anything that's going on right now. So I put on the news to feel more oriented in what's going on, and I immediately download the Watch Duty app. The Watch Duty app, love you. Shout out to the Watch Duty app. If you live on the West Coast, you need that app, 100%. It's going to make you feel more comfortable. And I was watching that app like if it was a telenovela. So basically what happened is, at first it was a little bit unknown, but Los Angeles had the worst, and it's still going on right now as we speak, the worst wildfire that California has ever seen in history. And it's really, really scary. A lot of people have lost their homes, businesses. A lot of people are not doing okay, need donations. And the worst part about it all is sketchy things are happening. The fire hydrants were empty with no water. people that lost their houses were canceled with fire insurance. So many sketchy things were happening, and I think we need to raise questions. And what happened was not okay in California. And apparently, after so many days and people, investigating, a lot of them were man-made, which leads me to my next story and how I had to roll with the punches in a very horrible situation that I dealt with. Mind you, we pack our emergency bags with the first Amber Alert. The second we saw we're in the pink zone, we left California to go to Arizona, right? We're in Arizona. We get an Airbnb. We're in a safe area. So we think. I'm home alone while he's at work. I'm working on my computer upstairs. Tranquila. Thank God. Step number 1, thank God that I did not have headphones on. I'm there, chilling, doing my normal routine. I hear banging, ba, 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 ba. And I'm anxious, and I'm like, what the heck? I try to wait it off. They don't leave. They keep banging. And this is when I got scared, and I called Bobby immediately. I'm like, babe, I think they're trying to kidnap me or break into the house. The second I saw them go into the backyard, that's when I freaked out. He was like, hang up, call 911. And that's exactly what I did. I called 911. And I'm like, please, I'm really scared. I hear people banging on the door, and I'm really nervous right now. And stay on the phone with me. And I peek outside the window, and I'm like, oh my God, the police is already here. And I'm like, hello? I think someone's trying to break into my house. They're like, ma'am, you need to exit your house right now. I'm like, what happened? They're like, your house is on fire. Look. And literally, this is what I was looking at. I'm going to clip it in here. It was the most traumatic thing. He's like, get out of the house. Do I have permission to enter? And I'm like, yes. So the police arrived first looking for the root of the fire. And then the firefighters showed up a minute or two later. They went inside my house to look for it. It was not inside of our house. They look in the backyard. The entire backyard tree is on fire. Pero fire. The women that were banging on the door were just regular people driving on the highway and got off just to tell me, hey, get out of the house, to try to save me. So those women, thank you so much. And I even apologized to them because I told them I didn't answer the door because I didn't know what was going on, and I didn't even notice. I didn't smell anything at all. And then the police, they were able to exit and figure out exactly where it was, and it was directly behind my house, not in my property. Just they needed access through my house to get to the fire, and the tree caught my tree on fire, so it was just a whole big tree fire explosion thing. So I was rolling with the punches in that situation, and the only thing that made me feel better was knowing that there were so many people that were there. There was a lot of people there too that were just recording for TikTok or whatever. And on the ring cam, I probably looked like a crazy person pulling my hair. I was like, ah! I was like screaming, running back and forth. I wasn't screaming, but I was like, I was like, I don't understand. I'm like, I was like, I don't have any iron, like no barbecues on. I'm like, that's not us. And I didn't even notice because I would have smelled if it was us, So I'm just really blessed that people were trying to tell me and being so aware, especially with the California fires. And you never know what that situation could have been. Like, honestly, thank you, God, for my life, because you never know lo que puede pasar. Roll with the punches. I'm so blessed to know people that are directly going to the impacted victims, donation centers. They are making such a difference in the community, going to the LAFD department, giving food to them, donating water, Gatorade. Like, what they have done is truly making a difference in the community. Mary and Chris Taylor, they raised so much money for LAFD. I am so proud of so many people. It's amazing what the community has done in LA. And so many people say that LA is full of fake people, but in times like this in need, look at how LA came together, Whole group of people, even though they're not affected in the fires, someone knows someone in LA, whether you know a follower, someone you know is impacted. Last night, I went to my first NFL playoff game, Rams versus Vikings. Rams won, go LA. And I'm so grateful that we were able to honor the LAFD. And we all wore our LAFD hats. And I had taken a picture of all the pitcher boys. And then I put it on my story. And a bunch of news outlets were like, thank you, Natalie Loretta, photographer. And I was laughing so much because like I'm not a professional photographer. They just all screenshotted my story and used it for their articles. But I'm glad that they gave me credit. That was very nice. Guys, UFC 311. I've been waiting for this moment. Oh my gosh. I'm going to go over the fights quickly from prelims to the top, and not all the prelims, just one or two. Ailin Perez, Argentina versus Carl Rosa from Brazil. They're both coming off of a win. Ailin Perez loves to use her knees. She will chop your legs. Do not be in her distance. She likes to throw those spinning back fists sometimes. I love it. Carl Rosa will take you down, control the ring, and finish the round on top. Payton versus Raoni. I love when fighters are undefeated because they have so much to lose. Payton is so young. He's on a 9-fight win streak. He's a huge favorite, and I think it's for a reason. Kevin Holland versus Reinier de Ridder. It's USA versus the Netherlands. Both are unranked fighters fighting on a huge card. It's a huge opportunity. I'm super excited to see what Reinier could do. Kevin Holland is facing former 2-time one championship champion Reinier de Ridder. Before this fight, Reinier has only had one fight in the UFC, and Kevin Holland, on the other hand, he's been having some tough matchups, but this is his opportunity to show he belongs in the UFC. Reinier said that the UFC is giving him discretionary bonuses, so they're keeping him happy. He's the former 2-time one champion champ, you know? So they're trying to keep him happy. Dariush versus Moicano. Ironically, Dariush's last loss is to the main event contender, Arman, and Renato Moicano, his last win is Benoit Saint-Denis, the French military men. So I'm picking Renato Moicano. I cannot believe I'm watching these fights in person too. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Jamal Hill versus Yuri Prochazka. Ooh, I've been waiting for this one. They both lost to Alex Pereira. I don't know. Whitaker's taking Hill. Who do you think is going to redeem themselves? I think it's going to be Yuri. Two more fights. Merab versus Umar Nurmagomedov. Umar is Khabib's primo and currently undefeated, while Merab has been climbing to the top, making it look super easy, taking the belt from the champion, Sean. I don't even know what's going on with the beef of this fight. Merab has been calling him a big, giant, spoiled baby, being super childish. No, Umar has a lot to lose with the undefeated record, but Merab is currently the champion. I always thought Merab was the champ of wrestling, but Umar's the king of wrestling. Last fight, Islam Makhachev versus Arman 2. These people threw it down 6 years ago, so he's fighting someone that already crossed his path early in the UFC. Islam was shooting, as always, but Arman was trying to get the fight back up on his feet. The fight went all the rounds, and Arman showed that he can hang with his wrestling and he can defend him. I just think Arman has that itch in his heart, and when a fighter has nothing to lose, he's dangerous, as Rocky Balboa says. I know that Islam has gotten better. Yes, his striking has gotten better, but so has Arman. So I don't know. I kind of want to see an upset, and I'm going in person, so I'm going to choose Arman publicly. I'm so grateful that I'm going to be covering this card live from California. My biggest hope for this UFC event is not only that there's a new champ, but that somebody walks out to Debe Tirar Más Fotos, at least one song from the album. Speaking of Bad Bunny's album, that album made me cry so much, yet laugh, yet break out dancing, yet I just felt all the emotions, and it just made me remember all the people that taught me how to speak English, how to speak Spanish, the people that taught me how to dance, that taught me how to love again, you know? I just miss my grandparents so much. So I know I say this a lot on my podcast, but if you are blessed enough to have your abuelitos with them, please give them a hug on my behalf and a besito. Wish I had my abuelitas on this earth with me. I wish I could dance with them one more time, and I wish they can see what I've done on this earth. And thinking of them makes me so sad, but like, I'm rolling with the punches, knowing that in my heart they are with me, always protecting me and guiding me. And I do believe that my abuelitos are placing people purposely in my life. Earlier, I talked about the TikTok ban. I was so worried about the TikTok ban. Immediately, a video came up on my For You page about my faith in God, and like, God, the God that moves mountains has the power to also make the final decision. So, you know, I'm gonna have faith, but I also was so scared because that's a huge part of and chunk of my income. Now I am 100% certain that regardless of what happens, I have enough brand deals to cover myself and take care of me. So I am so thankful, and thank you, God. And I know that's my abuelita Fela and Elsa and Chucho and Pancho watching over me, putting the right people watching my videos. Hopefully TikTok, you know, doesn't, but a lot of people will not have another platform to fall back on, and that's really sad. I'm really grateful that I do. I've had a digital footprint since I was a child, you know, with Taekwondo. So I'm grateful that I have the credibility through my martial arts career, and I'm so grateful for everyone that still follows me from that time of my life. One of the things I say the most here is, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it right now. Remember that. One day, I hope that I'm invited on a brand trip on my own. I went on one before, but as a +1. I wasn't personally invited as a influencer or an athlete. I was my sister Lola Vice's +1, Valerie Loretta's +1. When she was a professional MMA fighter, Vital Proteins invited her and a +1 on a trip to St. Bart's, and it was the craziest group of athletes. Cody Simpson, the singer, I did not know this, but he turned into an Olympic athlete and tried to represent Australia in the Olympic Games. So he was a serious athlete. Anthony Pettis was in the UFC. And then there was a bunch of WWE superstars, Kim Kardashian's personal trainer, Fit Girl Mel, the list goes on. So many people were hating on our trip because we went to St. Bart's at the beginning of COVID, when this had been planned so far in advance. And people do not understand how much of an extensive testing we had to go through to prove that we were safe and COVID free to go on that trip. So not only did we have 2 before, but we had 2 while we were there to even be there and stay on the trip. Remember how I said Cody Simpson was on that trip? So obviously my college roommates were all freaking out that was happening. And one of them really was begging me for her birthday to get her a birthday shout out. And I was so shy, but I actually did ask him on the last day, and I'll clip it in right here. I was so embarrassed to ask that. Like, que pena. I did not know one song, and now I know because everyone was like, how do you not know who Brown Eyed Girl is? I'm like, I don't know.
Let's take a look.
Happy birthday!
Hey! The timing of the Tart trip obviously was unfortunate, but this was planned so far in advance. I just don't think the fires happened and they evacuated to Tart Island for safety, you know? They're doing stuff for the LA community now, spreading awareness. Funds that don't have enough. People get mad overall when you're simply doing you. Keep doing you, because not everyone is going to cheer you on. Remember that some people cannot support you publicly because of the way that they talk about you privately. Because when you do you, people notice. The main Netflix account, the Spanglish con todo Netflix account, Michael Phelps, Marab, Bretman Rock, Sony, Emma from Shark Tank, the co-founder of Good American with Khloe Kardashian. I can't even think of the rest of the people, but there's so many more people. Superstars from the WWE, UFC fighters, Macy Barber, my idol in the UFC. The list goes on, but all of these people are finally noticing my content, and it motivates me. And another thing that motivates me is that when people meet me and when people see my content, they tell me that it's a break from reality, and they feel so motivated to follow their dreams, and they feel empowered, and they feel like they are worth something. And that is my goal. And as long as I'm doing that for the rest of my life, I'll be the happiest girl in the world, because that motivates me to be the superhero that I strive to be every day, and you guys keep me accountable here on Rolling with the Punches. Before I go, the randomest videos go viral, and this is my little message to you. Just post your content. You never know what can go viral. I made a silly, stupid video. I was gonna post it on Friends Only about Squid Games, if Squid Games was Latino, and it was like I put the music of Atrévete, and obviously that song makes me dance, so I did that, and I put like a gunshot sound over it, and that one went viral. It's currently at 800,000 views. And con todo Spanglish, they saved it and they were boosting my page. I just can't stress it enough. If you're ever feeling down, just come back to this channel. If you need a boost, I'm here to make you feel better. I really do love you, and truly, as always, keep rolling with the punches. So take things one step at a time. Can't watch a flower grow overnight. Takes time. I'm your host, Natalie Loretta. Keep rolling with the punches.